you're our member spotlight for this month.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So I know it's been a couple weeks since you've been in here working out with me, but I just wanted to ask you about like what kind of made you decide it was finally time to join a gym and start working with the trainer.
Yeah, so um, for background, I had never like been to a gym before, never like done any sort of like weightlifting.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like having a personal trainer would be a good place to start, just so I don't like hurt myself or just to have like a good foundation going in. What got me wanting to like go to the gym in the first place was one of my coworkers. She has Crohn's disease like me,
Okay.
and she was talking about how she was going to the gym, and I feel like I've had it since I was like 13, and it just had been like lots of struggles with like maintaining a good weight. I was always underweight, struggles with dieting and making sure I'm getting enough nutrients, and I just always felt like going to the gym and like weightlifting would be way
Too much
too
for you.
much. Like that's not something I would just
Yeah.
be able to do. But then seeing her do it, and like she has her struggles with it too, but it was just like, oh, this is something that could totally be within reach.
And did
And
you do any kind of exercise? Like I know you said lifting weights seemed like it was kind of like above your head,
yeah.
but did you do any kind of exercise on your own or anything like that?
I mean, I have a dog, so
Yeah.
going outside, I love cycling, so I go like ride my bike, but it was very much like low intensity stuff, and I always felt like that's just kind of where I'm gonna be. But
Okay.
yeah, it's cool
And
to
so how was the experience finally working with some weights?
challenging, but it was like a good physical and mental challenge, like
Yeah.
getting used to um like just feeling my body do things that I've never really done before was different, but also cool. And then just like I think you had talked about like part of it is
Mm-hmm.
your brain just learns like how to do things more
Yep.
effectively,
Yep.
more
Your nervous
efficiently.
system learns how to do that
Yeah,
stuff.
and that was really cool too, like feeling it just like get easier and like things clicking. So
And so that's why it was pretty surprising when we weighed you at the end and
mhm.
you were already up, what was it,
I think it was,
9 pounds
yeah,
with like
5 pounds of it
most of it being
being muscle.
muscle.
Yeah,
So like that is fantastic.
yeah, it was really really cool. um I feel like I'll have to like remind myself that like as you mentioned, I hadn't been in for a couple weeks because I had a pretty bad flare, but with my Crohn's. But just knowing like that sort of growth, even
Mm-hmm.
in that short window of time that we were working together, is possible, which is super awesome. And like even if I do like have a setback with my health, like still keep going, and you know, overall, I think it'll be.
And so like with the Crohn's disease, obviously like you got to be eating a little more to
Mm-hmm,
actually put on that muscle. So
mm-hmm.
were there any issues with like diet while you were in here working out with me and actually doing the workouts to build muscle?
A little bit. The biggest thing, honestly, was when I would finish up like exercising, I'd be starving and
Yeah.
I would want to eat a lot, but my body just wasn't used to like that level of intake yet. And
Okay.
so the first like week or so, just like the sheer like eating more was very
Mm-hmm.
strange, and like I wasn't used to that, and I had already like calibrated like how I do my groceries based off of like how I had been before, and so I was like doing way more groceries and getting more food, and just like it felt different,
Mm-hmm.
but my body started to adjust and it wasn't too bad. And then I think also just like all the like food intolerances and that sort of thing, like trying to make sure I get in like my protein and my carbs and all
Yeah.
that stuff, but also like can't have dairy, can't have gluten. So trying to
Mm-hmm.
find the balance there was a little tough, but
So what did you end up doing to kind of make sure that you were able to eat enough food that you could put on weight without getting too bad of a flare up or having
mm,
any issues with that?
um so I used a lot of those recipes on the
Mm-hmm.
fitness app as like a a starting point,
Mm-hmm.
and then just kind of subbed things out for like gluten-free options or like dairy-free options. So like getting a dairy-free cheese instead of like a regular one. Normally I tend to like just avoid dairy altogether, but
Mm-hmm.
just for the sake of like makes it easier to like transition the
Yeah.
recipe. I just did that.
And what do you think about those recipes?
I liked
They
them.
were good?
Yeah, I liked them. Some of them I was like, oh, I'm only going to use like this one ingredient for this one recipe. So I like tried to pick recipes that I would like use a lot of the ingredients for
Mm-hmm.
multiple things. But other than that, I liked it a lot. It was
Good.
nice to have some ideas so that I don't have to think about what I'm going to cook every single time.
Yeah. That's what I always tell people to do. There's like literally hundreds of meals in there.
Mm.
And so I always tell everyone just go through, pick like 10 for breakfast, 10 for lunch, 10 for
Mm-hmm.
dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and just keep those as sort of like a menu that
Yeah.
you always know what you can eat and all that.
Yeah.
So you said you had a flare up recently since we've
Mm-hmm.
stopped working together.
Mm-hmm.
Did that impact how much you were able to eat? And like, we probably should have put you on the scale before we came up here just to kind of see where you're
Yeah.
at compared to where you were a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But do you feel like you lost any muscle from that, or do you feel
Um,
kind of back to like where you were when we stopped now that you're feeling a little better?
Probably I'm a little bit behind from where we stopped. I don't feel like super different from where we
Mm-hmm.
left off, but definitely I was eating a little bit less. And also just like the nature of like the diet I can have when I have a flare. They want you to
Yeah.
do like a low fiber diet when you're having a Crohn's flare. And so that's just limits what you can eat too. It's a lot of very like bland, kind of like nutritionally kind of empty foods. It really isn't
Yeah.
a lot. So
Okay.
probably there was a little bit of a setback there.
All right. And you said you haven't really came in and worked out since we stopped just because of that flare up?
Yeah, primarily like the flare up, and then just I think it's like low energy too that comes with the flare up. But I did try and do like more stuff at home just to kind of like at least doing something. A lot of the exercises on that fitness app are things that are easily like stuff
What
I
kind
could
of
do at
stuff were you
home.
doing at home?
So I have like little dumbbells. So doing just like easy like exercises with the dumbbells, focusing more on like stretching. I know we talked about
Yep.
like the squats,
Full
the
range of
sissy squats, and
motion,
like working on my
doing the
knees and stuff.
form.
Yeah. So that sort of thing is like stuff I could do at home without like actually coming in and
It's
doing like the
awesome.
heavier stuff. So yeah.
So you said that before you came in and started working with weights, you were pretty intimidated by it. And
Yeah.
so after this experience, what would you say to someone that's kind of in that same position?
I would say, definitely go for it. If you're thinking about doing it, you should just do it, try it. Um, it's good to have, you know, it's good to like assess where you're at right now and see like make attainable goals,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think there's great people here that like want to see you get better. They want to see
Mm-hmm.
you improve and like make your fitness goals. So totally go for it.
And so as far as like the Crohn's disease and
Mm.
stuff like that, for people who are struggling with that kind of stuff, like just like a immunodeficiency or any kind of thing that makes them think that because they have this condition they're not going to be able to achieve what they want to achieve, what do you have to say to them?
Um, I would say, everybody's experiences with like autoimmune diseases are different. So everybody is like healthy and everyone's normal is going to look different. But I think, working with like your doctor, working with people who are, trained
Mm-hmm.
personal trainers, people who know what they're doing, but like you can definitely make goals to improve your health and have those be like achieved. Totally. It just takes a little bit of, adjustment and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say that maybe we didn't cover?
No, I don't think so. I
No.
think that's everything.
All right.
So,
Well, congratulations on really achieving your goal past I think what both of us were expecting in
for sure.
just like
Yeah.
what was it, like maybe 3 weeks of
Yeah.
training?
Just under a
So like
month. Yeah.
that was amazing to
Yeah.
see you put on that much weight and
Yeah.
What would you say your current goal is now that you've already gotten yourself going in the right direction so much?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think you want to get to, like, as like an end goal?
I would say like weight wise, I think originally I had said like I want to be like 130
Mm-hmm.
pounds, and I think when we weighed last,
Yeah.
I was like almost 120 somewhere, maybe
Yeah.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
and
I think you were like 109 when we started.
yeah,
And just for context, how
mm,
tall are you?
like 5'8", 5'9",
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and then I
So,
think you said like you could even do 140, and I was like, oh,
yeah. Yeah.
so
I think with your height,
yeah,
you could get up to 140. I think that would be a very healthy weight for you.
yeah. So, but I think also the biggest thing, I don't have a lot of like specific goals and like I want to be able to bench this much. I want to be able to,
Mm-hmm.
I more just want to like get consistency of
Yeah.
like coming in, doing the things, having a routine. I think that's more where my goals are focused right
And
now.
those are the right goals to have. Like,
Yeah.
there's very few people that it makes sense for them to have a goal of, I want to bench press this much, or I
Yeah.
want to be able to run this
Mm,
far in this, like, I want to run like a 20-minute 5K or something like that.
yeah.
For most people, the biggest goal that they should have, and the first goal that they're going to see actually coming true, is
Mm,
just the overall quality of life.
mm-hmm.
And so, kind of going off of that, how did your overall quality of life improve as you were working out and getting stronger and getting yourself up to a healthier weight?
I mean, absolutely, it improved. Like just the seeing myself like eating more meals was like already great. With Crohn's, it's good to be like you
Mm-hmm.
want to be getting, those at least 3 meals and good meals. You want to be getting your nutrients because that helps with like I don't know, fighting the disease isn't the right word, but
Yeah.
like it just helps, with your overall
Managing
health.
it.
Managing, that's the right
Yeah.
word. Yeah. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I work as a nurse, and so I could just notice like when we're like repositioning people in bed, it was like, oh wow, this is easier. Like just
Mm-hmm.
boosting somebody up, it's just like little things like that
Yeah.
could tell, and just like waking up in the morning not feeling as sore, and yeah, just
Yeah. I
like little things
remember
like that.
remember those first two times you were pretty sore.
Yeah,
The day or two after.
yeah.
Did that last very long?
Um, that first couple of sessions, yeah, I was like nervous. Like I was super sore from the first one that I was worried like, oh, I'm too sore for the next one. But like over time, it wasn't too bad. It was like lasting maybe like a day or two, and then ready for the next one. So
All right.
yeah,
Well, that's awesome. Again,
yeah,
congratulations on putting on that weight that you did and
yeah,
really making a dent and getting yourself to where you want to be.
yeah,
And I hope to keep seeing you in here a little more often now that you're feeling better.
yeah. You absolutely will. So
All right. Well,
very cool.
congratulations.
Thanks.